Welcome to my channel. I'm a room Cherechi, a fertility nurse and also a staff nurse midwife. And my channel focuses on women's reproductive health and fertility. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel as you flow with me. In today's video, I'll be discussing some of the gender selection techniques that have been designed for couples or partners that want a particular sex. Although there are no medical data whatsoever to back some of these techniques up, but they are yielding positive results. What am I trying to say? Some of these techniques are not 100% accurate, but they are yielding positive results when followed judiciously. Before I start explaining these techniques, we need to understand the types of chromosomes the sperm has and that of the egg. The sperm has two types of chromosomes, the X and the Y chromosome, while the egg has only X chromosome. And when it comes to sex determination, it is the sperm cells that determines that is the X and Y chromosome. The egg has X chromosome already, so the X chromosome from the sperm is for a baby girl. Once the X chromosome fertilizes the egg, a baby girl will be conceived. Why, when the Y chromosome fertilizes the egg, a baby girl will be conceived. So we should have it in our mind that it is the chromosomes from the sperm that determines the sex of a baby. The X chromosome from the sperm is for a baby girl once it fertilizes the egg. That's XX, that's female gender. Then when the Y fertilizes the egg, we will have XY, that's male gender. So let me start to explain these techniques one after the other. The number one is pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, PGD. This goes in conjunction with ART, that's artificial reproductive technology, and one of them is IVF, in vitro fertilization. After stimulating a woman and the eggs are being retrieved, the sperm will be used to fertilize those eggs. Then a portion, a cell, will be taken from this fertilized egg. At this stage, they are now called embryo. A cell will be picked from there to examine. So from the different embryos, cells will be collected from them, and once they have been examined, the gender of those embryos, that babies, will be seen. If it is a male or a female child, it will be detected. Then from there, the specific gender the couples want will be transferred back to the woman's uterus. Although this procedure is very expensive, only IVF is expensive. Talk more of the PGD, that's pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. It works, but is costly. We have the sperm sorting, known as microsort method. The sperms are being sorted before the procedure to separate the Y from the X. If a particular gender is needed, once sorted, the cell, that's the X, if it is a female gender that is needed, the X chromosome will be used to fertilize the eggs. Even if it is for IUI, that is intrauterine insemination. We used to inject into the woman's reproductive tract so that it will go and fertilize the ovulated egg. So the sperms are being sorted before they are being used. The other one is Shettl's method. In this Shettl's method, it is advisable that when couples need a particular gender, maybe a baby boy, the couples should have intercourse a day of ovulation or few hours before ovulation, like 12 hours before ovulation, and once it is 12 hours after ovulation, intercourse should stop if you really want a baby boy. It is believed that the Y cells, that the Y chromosomes, move faster and they are so fragile, that is, they are so weak. Once they are being released on the day of ovulation, they will move very fast to go and fertilize the egg, and a viable sperm stays in the female reproductive tract within 5 to 7 days. But it is the X chromosome that stays longer. They are too sluggish and last longer. But the Y chromosomes doesn't stay for a longer time. So it is advisable, once you want a baby boy, the day of your ovulation or 12 hours before ovulation, once you have it within this period, there's a higher chance, a possibility that you will conceive a baby boy. Then when you want a baby girl, it is advisable to have intercourse few days before ovulation. And once you've done that, don't ever try to have intercourse again, because once you do so closer to ovulation, it's likely that the Y chromosome will still swim fast to fertilize the eggs. But when you have intercourse few days before ovulation, once the Y sperms swim, there's no egg for them to fertilize. They will die off. Then when the eggs are being released, it is the X chromosome that will be there to fertilize the egg. So for a baby boy, a day of ovulation or 12 hours before ovulation. Then for a baby girl, you have intercourse few days before ovulation. We now go to the Lynch method. This method complements the Shettl's method. This focuses on cervical mucus. We have different types of cervical mucus during the period of ovulation. In this method, it is advisable to have intercourse few days before ovulation if you want a baby girl. Within this period, the cervical mucus is still thick and thicker. Once you notice a thicker and a thick cervical mucus, it is advisable to meet with your partner if you really want a baby girl, because that period you've not really ovulated, and those mucus hinders sperm motility. It doesn't allow them to move fast. Then if you want a baby boy, wait till you see a clear, thin, slippery vaginal discharge. This shows that ovulation is about to occur, and this discharges being clear, thin, and slippery makes it easier for sperm to swim fast. So once you've ovulated and the sperm is being released, the white sperm will swim very fast to go and fertilize this egg. So in Billings method, it focuses more on the type of your cervical mucus. When it is thick and thicker, once you have an intercourse, there's a possibility of you having a baby girl. Then once the mucus changes to clear, thin, and slippery, that means your ovulation is very close. So it's advisable for you to meet with your partner if you want a baby boy. The next point is diet and nutrition. According to some researchers, it is advisable to eat foods low in sodium. One example of this food is egg. You know, sodium is an alkali, and it is believed that this food that contains low sodium will not neutralize the acidic nature of the vagina. The acidic environment of the vagina favors X chromosome. They are very strong and resilient compared to Y chromosome that are very weak. So if you want a baby girl, it's advisable to eat foods that are low in sodium. Again, drink a lot of yogurt. Yogurt contains lactobacillus, a bacteria that balances the acid level of the vaginal fluid. And once the vaginal fluid is more acidic, it favors the X chromosome, that is for the female gender. Again, do not eat nuts, especially almonds. They are not good if you want a baby girl. On the other hand, eat more of foods that are high in potassium. Potassium is an alkali. It is believed that those foods that are high in alkali neutralizes the acidic nature of the vagina, which favors the Y chromosome. Examples of these fruits that contains high potassium: one, banana. The next one is spinach, tomatoes, potatoes. Then it's advisable to eat a lot of nuts like almonds. They increase your chances of having a male child. We have sex position. Yes. For a baby boy, deep penetration is good. Deep penetration is advisable. That's the behind method, what we call the doggy style. Yes, doggy style. The research behind this is that once a man ejaculates with this style, he deposits his sperm directly at the cervix, and the white sperms move very fast. So once it's been ejaculated, this white sperm, they move very fast to go and fertilize the egg that is already there waiting for fertilization. But when you need a baby girl, the normal missionary style is advisable because it's like a shallow penetration. Also, it is advisable for a woman to reach orgasm before the man. Yes. Once a woman reaches orgasm before the man, those fluids that are being released, they are alkaline in nature. So they will neutralize the acidic nature of that environment, making it possible for the Y chromosomes to overcome the acidic nature of the environment. So when a woman reaches orgasm first before a man, let's say higher chance of a baby boy being conceived. Another point is that once you want a baby boy, before intercourse, you should at least have a cup of coffee. We all know that coffee contains caffeine, so that it will boost the Y chromosomes, give them strength for them to fight the acidic nature of the vagina, to make them last longer. So if you want a baby boy, have a cup of coffee before intercourse. The last but not the least is your clothing. That is your waist. If you want a baby boy, wear loose wears. That is wears that are not tight, especially your underpants. Nature made it so that the testis is outside the body. The body temperature is higher than the temperature of the testis. So if the testis is inside, the sperm cells will die, and the Y sperms are too fragile. They will even die more than the eggs cells. But since they are outside, you need to help them as well. Because when you wear tight clothing, tight underpants, especially nylon pants, it will absorb heat and it will not favor the sperm cells, especially the Y cells. So it is advisable, if you want a baby boy, wear loose underwears. On the other hand, wear tight underwears. If you want a baby girl, if they kill the Y chromosomes, the S will be there to assist, because you want a baby girl. But in all, eat healthy. Do not miss your folic acid before conception, even during conception, to avoid neural tube defects, a congenital abnormalities that can result as a lack of folic acid. Because when it comes to having babies, our major priority is to have a healthy child. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you find this video informative. See you next.